All right, so I'm going against everything that I said to you, and in advance, I apologize and I'm sorry. Welcome back to Cooking Like My Dear. My name is Tania, um, but I'm looking a little funny. I've been to New Orleans. We went to get away a little bit, so I needed to go and get inspired some. And I had these wings at one of the restaurants, so I wanted to give it a shot. I have a seasoning that I don't always find here, but I got it in New Orleans, and so I'm gonna start off with some of that. I'm going to add to that some garlic powder, and you see I'm doing it a lot. I'm going to add some black pepper. And again, you know, a lot of times I do not measure. We all know this. So this is what we're doing here. I'm going to add some salt. And because I'm doing it in the air fryer, yeah, I am going to add a little baking soda and a little cornstarch for my crunch. Okay? So, if we were frying this in oil, we would dredge it in flour. But I'm adding these two things to it. And then I'm going to mix it up. And I'm going to put it in the air fryer. Now, when you don't want to mess up, you know, your rings and your nails, you can always use gloves. What that girl doing? I'm going to get my gloves. Helps with the cleanup and not getting everything under your nails. So these are my gloves. I'm tossing this because I want this to be nice and crispy. Most of the time I just use one hand. I've gotten used to not using the other hand as much. And so I guess before I decided to try pescatarian for a month, I should have had that discussion, huh? Lord help. And I didn't have that discussion. So, there are my wings. See? And I'm going to spray down my basket because I don't want the chicken to stick. Okay? And now, I could have put my glove back on, or I can use my tongs here. Got a request to begin to talk about seasonings and things that we need to just have in the house. So I will do a separate video on that. I do flip my chicken in my air fryer. I do that. So about the 10-minute mark, I'll switch over to the other side and then we will take care of that. While that is cooking, let's make the sauce. So I have some butter here, and I'm going to add garlic powder. I know I added that to the chicken. This time I'm adding onion powder. I'm going to add a little salt, not a lot. And I'm going to add some pepper. Lemon pepper. I like to add the fresh lemon peel. It's good until it turns white. When you get to the white part, that is way, way, way too bitter. So as long as you see yellow, you can keep going. Excuse me. This is a good peel. I know y'all used to just using a little lemon pepper, and that's cool. You can use that too. Instead of doing all of the seasonings, you can just use the lemon pepper mix, or the lemon pepper seasoning, I should say, with the butter. But if you want to do it scratch, and this is the way it's going to go. And I'm moving my fingers and stuff around because I have cut myself with this thing before. And you see, it's still pretty yellow. You do not even have to use the actual lemon juice. The peel is doing what I needed to do. And then finally some honey. And yes, I asked the man for the whole recipe. I did that. Five minutes in, I can already smell it. It's good. Y'all can find that recipe for the homemade blue cheese that I did a while back. I make it quite often, so I don't have to make it every time I make something. So yeah, this weekend we're probably gonna go through my cabinets. I feel slightly judged, but I know a lot of people want to know. I'm adding things to it constantly because of the different kinds of dishes I like to make. So I have a lot of stuff just sitting in here, and I tell people over and over again, it is not a requirement for you to buy everything at one time. Yep, that's gonna be righteous. I could add a little bit more butter to it. You understand it, feel right with it. So let's take a look. So they're cooking. It's gonna be so yummy. Someone was asking, do things have a shelf life? Which is always a good question. Let me find something with a shelf life. How come every time I'm pulling down something today it has no shelf life? Here we go. Here's one. Oh, over here. Here we go. Shake well. Best one used by, and that says February 8th of 2022. You guys got to start checking for these labels and see what's happening. Because sometimes you buy stuff and it lasts so long. That's the reason why you're not getting the flavor that you want. A lot of things have expirations on it. Best by May 9th, 2024. I know it's a little harder to see that one. So some things you're cooking and you're like, yeah, I didn't get the outcome that I was looking for. Could it be that you've gotten something that expired? Okay? You have got to pay attention to what you have happen, especially as it relates to like yeast and sugar and flour and things like that. You gotta make sure you're not using outdated products. It makes a difference. And I keep checking just to make sure it's not overcooking or anything like that. I do have some seafood that I'm gonna cook this week too. Even though the week is over, I'm still gonna do that. So we're almost at the halfway cooking mark, and I'm going to flip the chicken over. Cooking is soothing to me, y'all. My child said it's my love language. That might be so. If I cook you a meal, like, you important to me. So we're gonna let this cook. When the wings are done, we're gonna come back and we're gonna sauce them up. Woo! All right, let's check. Look at our wings. Wings. Oh, wings. And I flipped them over too. Yes. And so now all I'm going to do, take this out of here. I'm going to put that in the sink. And I'm going to pour my mix on the chicken, and then I'm going to toss it. And listen, plate it, put your sides to it, get your sauce, and that's it, y'all. This smells so good. I love using the lemon zest instead of just using lemon pepper. Because these wings are fire. Y'all see that? They fire. All right, cooking like Medea.